I wish I wasn't the kid in the classroom raising his hand and saying, I'm different. If I had my way, someone else would have done this. Nobody has, which is why I'm raising my hand.
With Jason coming out, what would it mean for our family? How would it be received?
Jason wanted to do it on his terms.
Some people insist they've never met a gay person, but 3 degrees of Jason Collins dictates that no NBA player can claim that anymore.
Let's be honest, there's homophobia. It's alive and well.
We were worried about his safety because fans can be very tough.
No one wants to live in fear. Some of us know and accept our sexuality right away, and some need more time to cook. I should know, I baked for 33 years.
The most extraordinary lives follow undefined paths. To find your voice, you may need to journey into the unknown. I'm Carlos Watson, editor of OZY, and these are Defining Moments.
Hey,
How's it
Jason,
going?
Carlos.
Hey, Carlos.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me at your house.
Yes, come on in.
Oh, man. What is this here?
This is when my nieces and nephews come over. I'll play chess with them. Just trying to teach them strategy.
Huh.
And I'll show you this picture here. The family, my parents, my brother, his wife, me.
How tall are your parents?
My dad is 6'4" and my mom is 6 foot. When we were in the 3rd grade, we were 5'3". We were taller than our 3rd grade teacher. We were 6'4" in the 7th grade. We got our first recruiting letter when we were in the 8th grade.
Who did you get the letters from?
The first recruiting letter we ever got was from Cal Berkeley. Grew up here, Southern California, Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley. 1978, we were born. Twins, that was the first.
There must have been about 13 or 14 months old, and we were in San Francisco. Jason had his binky in his mouth, and he pulled out one binky for himself, and he pulled out the second binky, went over and threw it in Jaren's mouth. I got a binky, you got a binky. And that was basically how they reacted to each other.
Jason and Jaren, for all intents and purposes, I thought they were my children. Jason always exhibited a little bit more leadership. As a child, Jason was the first to walk, Jaren followed immediately after.
I take the kids with me to our local gym. Basketball was the one that they both enjoyed.
My brother and I grew up with the Lakers. Those guys were all my idols, and I just wanted to get out there and play with them, play against them.
You could actually tell when they were like 13 or 14 that if they continue to improve and like that, they'd have a great opportunity to play in the pros.
We went to Harvard Westlake, Southern California.
It's one of the best academic institutions, I'll say, in the United States.
They became very popular with their classmates.
When we were growing up, my brother was probably a little bit more introverted. He was always a quiet guy. Socially, I was probably a little bit more active.
I started realizing that I have different feelings when my teammates would start talking about some of the girls in the class, and that wasn't me. Most young men will have crushes on some of their teachers, some of the cuter teachers, female teachers. I had a crush on our cute teacher. He just happened to be a guy. Anytime, whether it was Jaren or one of my teammates, when the conversation about girls came up, I would just try to either play along and like laugh and smile, or I would try to remove myself from the situation. I grew up in the culture of sport, and you're taught as a little boy, these are words that you can use to put people down, and a lot of those words are homophobic words. I don't want them to ever talk about me that way. So let me see if I can try to bury this. Maybe I'll find some girl who's gonna make all these feelings go away. Maybe there's still time for me to figure this out and end up being straight, kind of thing.
Did you come out to any friends or any family?
No, it was difficult growing up in a very religious household.
Religion played an important part in our life. It all goes back to our grandmother.
Baca was a force in and of herself. She was raised under Jim Crow laws. African American culture has a great deal of pain and silence.
Every Sunday, you knew where to find her in church.
So strict discipline in the house.
Strict discipline, very religious. I was actually a Sunday school teacher. When I was in high school, I would teach Sunday school to the little ones. But I reached a point where I got upset with religion. My Uncle Mark here, he is the first person in our family to come out as gay.
When did you do that?
He did that when I was around 16 years old. Some of my dad's family members weren't as supportive. I got upset with how people were using religion to separate and to point at a certain group of people and say they're the bad guys. And if you don't do things this way, then you are a bad person. My mom, who I love dearly, some of the stuff that she said, she was one of those people who said things that I'm sure she wishes she could take back.
Did that talk in any way further cement your resistance to being open?
I think it was more about me trying to be the perfect son.
Why'd you want to be a perfect son?
I saw how much my parents sacrificed so that we could achieve our dreams. And I didn't want them to feel that their sacrifice wasn't appreciated and that I couldn't sacrifice something of myself. So I sort of took a step back from religion, from my faith, and it was just focus on other stuff. Focus on basketball, focus on my education. Here's the diploma.
Yeah.
So if people ask you, like, did you graduate? I was like, yeah.
Now, was Stanford always the dream, or did that?
No, it was getting a Division I scholarship was the dream. So we busted our butts and we were able to pick and choose which school we wanted to go to. And Stanford was that school.
Did you think you were going to make it to the NBA?
I always thought, like, if you keep working hard, that you will make it. If you're on this track, if you're at this level, if you keep putting in the effort and try to do things the right way, that you will make it to the NBA.
I first caught wind of Jason probably when he was in high school playing at Harvard Westlake. They won the state championship, I believe, 2 times. And then when he went on to Stanford, as an agent, I paid a closer attention to him. Jason went solidly in the first round as the 18th pick. It was the beginning of his career.
You come into the NBA and you immediately go to a team that starts competing for the championship.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable in the NBA out of the gate?
I am, because when I was with the Nets in 2001, it was in New Jersey, playing in the Meadowlands. That first year, you're a rookie and you're learning so much, and you really don't know that making it to the finals, that's not normal. Usually it's a struggle, and to get out of the gate and go to the finals the first 2 years, to have so much success, it was really cool.
While you were in the closet, did you find yourself struggling either with depression or loneliness or both?
All of the above. I was hiding who I was. I was afraid to be open and around, whether it's media, my teammates. I keep them close, but not too close. When we were on the road, I would go to my room and just shut the door and just, okay, I'll see you at the team bus.
I was in the Western Conference. I was in Utah. He was way out in New Jersey. The way we communicate to one another was like, "Hey, Jason, are you lonely?" Those words just never came out, and we didn't have those type of interactions.
And I remember after a game when all the players came out and they were with their girlfriends, and he came out to see me, and my heart broke because he had no one in that family room. I just said, "Oh my God, he's lonely." And that was really painful to watch.
Being an NBA player, how did being in the closet affect your play on the court?
I never wanted to be the leading scorer because I knew that that was a person that the media looked to the most. Because then I didn't want those questions of why is he still single over 30 kind of thing. I knew that I could be a different person on the court. I sort of had that persona of the tough guy.
He was the enforcer when we played basketball. He was the guy who set the hard screen, set the hard foul.
Everything about being in the closet, all of that anger, stress, when I stepped on the lines of a basketball court, I got to take it out on somebody else.
Hard foul by Jason Collins, and Thomas hits the deck.
In an effort to mask his truth, Jason assumed a different persona on the court. But off the court, Jason would live a lie that only deepened his inner conflict.
So I started dating a girl from Stanford and kept telling myself that this is the path that you're supposed to be on. You're supposed to date women, you're supposed to get married.
Jason met Carolyn Moose, and all I could see was there was a lot of legs and a lot of height and a very nice person.
I knew that they were dating, but I was a little surprised because I didn't know that their relationship was progressing to that point, that they were going to be together, man and wife.
We were happy for him and excited and started doing some of the pre-planning and like that.
I was looking forward to grandchildren.
Did you love her?
Yes, I respected her. When you love someone and you're a gay man loving a woman, you love someone up to a certain point because you don't have those other feelings. Thankfully, I was able to call off the wedding.
How did she respond to that?
It was a lot of tears, a lot of pain.
Did you tell her at the time why it was?
No, it was a different reason for why. And she was right. Yes, there was something else going on.
When he broke up with her, I was calling him almost every day. We need to talk about this. There's a reason here. Let's just put it on the table. And I remember he was kind of pulling back away from me, so then I just let it go.
After that experience, I said to myself, I'm not doing that to anyone else. Like, I'm not doing that to myself. I'm not doing that to another woman.
You didn't even tell Jaron at the time that was why.
No one knew. That ended in 2009. And I didn't tell anyone that I was gay until 2011. The lockout of 2011, when I didn't have basketball, I didn't have that routine. I didn't have the practice, the games, the travel, that was all gone. So I had to have like a different routine. And I was telling people that I was going out on a date. No, I was here with my dog. And this was the first time that I really held up a mirror to my life and said, I want more out of life. So I made a friend who was a trainer who was training me. I saw that he did an It Gets Better video.
When you need it most, support will be there for you, and acceptance and encouragement. And it does get better.
So I knew that he was a member of the community. I knew that he was gay. So I knew that he would have an open ear. So I reached out to him through an email. I did come out in the email. Then about an hour later, I get a call from a friend of mine who says that the lockout has been ended. Isn't it great? You're gonna go back to work. And I was like, that's great, but what the heck did I just do? I just hit send on this email. Like, what is gonna happen? Am I gonna see this email on SportsCenter?
So you send that email, and an hour later, the lockout's over.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have stayed in the closet?
Yeah, I would have just gone back to business as usual. I sent it on Saturday. He didn't get back to me until Tuesday or Wednesday. We ended up meeting in Brentwood. I'm sitting there, and that was the first time I ever said the words out loud. I am gay, and I don't know what I'm doing. So he said that I need to start building a support system. I reached out to my aunt the next day.
Jason says, Auntie, I have something to tell you. I said, what? I'm gay. And I said, I know. And I said, but how are the contracts going? He said, did you hear what I said? I said, I'm gay, Auntie. And I said, Jason, I've known you've been gay, and I'm proud and I'm happy that you're telling me.
My Uncle Mark was one of the people that I told over the summer as well. They were the only two people who knew for the 2011-2012 season. That was when I was playing for the Atlanta Hawks.
I said, you know, you need to tell your parents. And he says, when I'm ready. Portia and I are extremely close. So it was very hard for me not to say anything to Portia. But I also was in this protective mode of, okay, Jason, I'm going to let you tell them when you think you're ready to tell them.
You still don't know, are you going to be accepted? You still don't know what their reaction is going to be. You know, are they going to look at you differently? Are they going to treat you differently? Because you want things to be, you know, normal. When I did come out to my mom or to my parents, we discussed that we needed to go to therapy together because there was a lot of stuff that has happened that we needed to talk about.
As his mother, I wanted to know, why wasn't I that first person? What did I do to not create that safe place? That it wouldn't be acceptable?
It did hurt her that her son didn't feel comfortable enough to come to her first. I can remember 10 years ago being at family functions and feeling like I wasn't able to be myself. It was weird to be surrounded by your friends and family, but not feel comfortable enough to, you know, say this is who I am kind of thing. And just think 10 years ago, I'm 31 years old. I would have never dreamed that something like this would happen, like when we do these family events together. To her credit, she has grown a lot as a human being.
I would think Jason would probably say that I have evolved to where I am now of being loving, accepting.
I know that I'm very fortunate because I know when a lot of LGBTQ people do come out, there isn't that support for them. Part of the reason why I chose jersey number 98 when I played for the Boston Celtics was because of this year, because of the year that Matthew Shepard was taken from us. 1998, I was a sophomore in college. I just remember thinking Matthew was college age when this happened to him. Just thinking what two people can do when they have hate in their heart, how they can inflict pain and violence, and they murdered him just for being gay. It was sort of hiding in plain sight and just being one with the LGBTQ community and honoring Matthew. I had a really cool system and structure and keeping me in a good mind frame. I got traded from the Boston Celtics to the Washington Wizards, and then it became, okay, you're going to a new city, a new job. When you go to a new city, new job, hey, hi, I'm Jason. Oh, do you have a wife and kids? Oh, are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? I just got tired of telling that lie.
Jason finally took steps towards living life on his own terms. But as a professional athlete in the public eye, Jason knew that as long as he remained closeted, he would never be at ease.
First week of March in 2013, he breaks the news to me that he's gay. And I said, look, I'm here to help you and support you any way I can. And he said, well, he wanted to think about how he goes about telling people. So Jason's question to me was, should he do it now? And I said, I don't know if you should do it. I got to think about this. This is an awful lot to digest. In one call, I need some time to think about. I'll come back to you quickly with, I think, what's the right path here.
He said, let me think about this and we come up with a plan and I'll get back to you. He thought about it and said, okay, I think we should wait until after the season is over if we want to play next year. which is what I wanted to do because I knew I was still, playing well enough to play in the league.
This was one of the last frontiers of macho society. If you want to be the first actively gay player playing in professional sports, the fear is, how would you be accepted in the locker room by your teammates? I wanted this to be totally in Jason's words. I wanted no one else to filter it. I wanted this to be Jason. And I realized that to me was the most important thing. This was his moment. He was going to express it. Then I started thinking about an article. And I had a very close friend, Franz Lids, who I grew up with in Philadelphia, who was a senior writer at Sports Illustrated. So much of my relationship with Jason was trusting me to deliver something for him that would guarantee his voice could be reflected and tell his story. And I believed Franz could do that. And he could also help Jason write a beautiful story that would be heartfelt and also capture who Jason was.
After the season was over, played for the Washington Wizards, that's the room right there where we had the conversation. And it was around a 3-hour, 45-minute interview.
I realized that if there was anyone that was going to do this and be the first, there's probably no better person than Jason to do it.
I know he wanted to go out on his terms. He wanted to play as an openly gay NBA player.
Who did you not tell because you knew if you told them it would get out?
Some of my teammates. I didn't tell my teammates until I knew the story was going to go public. I'm a 34-year-old NBA center. I'm black and I'm gay. I didn't set out to be the first openly gay athlete playing in a major American team sport. But since I am, I'm happy to start the conversation.
And what was the immediate reaction once the Sports Illustrated article came out?
There were those haters out there. There were some people even sent me death threats. But support from the league was overwhelmingly positive.
There was a lot of player reactions. Kobe Bryant, who had signed out of high school, who came out and supported Jason Collins in a very strong statement, championing be who you are, and not to be ashamed and have the courage to do that, and we should support Jason. I was very proud of Kobe for doing that.
I got back-to-back calls from Oprah and Obama. President Obama gets on the phone. He says, what you've done today will have a positive impact on someone that you might not ever meet in your lifetime. And that as Americans, that's what we all should strive for. And I just was like, whoa, that's, wow.
How much were you thinking about social impact?
I don't know if I was necessarily thinking about social impact. I was thinking about, I really want to go on a date.
So the first time you kissed a boy, when?
The Sports Illustrated article came out on a Monday, that Friday.
You literally had never kissed a boy before that?
No. So the article came out Monday, that Friday. Here's my boyfriend, Brunson.
How long have you guys been together?
We celebrated 6 years in October.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love my sourdough starter.
Yeah, let's go see how your sourdough starter is doing. Oh, that smells.
Does it smell? It's supposed to smell bad. That's good.
Yeah, okay. It smells.
Cool. It's rough.
Sourdough starter. We're gonna do a birthday dinner for Valentina and me.
Okay.
And you.
Yay. When?
Monday.
You were not playing at the time you came out.
No, I was a free agent.
Did you know you were going to get another gig?
No, I didn't know that I was going to get another gig.
It wasn't easy after that announcement getting him a job. It took us all the summer and into the season. But I have to say that David Stern, for example, it wasn't just talk. He was calling teams. He was encouraging teams.
My brother was done living in the closet. He was over it. He'd been living in a glass house where all of us knew, and he just wanted the world to know. Was there any apprehension about getting another opportunity to play in the NBA? Yes.
There was starting to be a little bit of interest. Teams were calling about him. So I started to feel that that something could happen.
I only got one opportunity. One. The night before, that Saturday, Arn Tellem reached out to me saying that the Nets are going to sign you. They're out. They're playing the Lakers tonight. You're going to be in the game.
Apropos, he started with the New Jersey Nets, he finished his career with the Brooklyn Nets.
Were you ready to go?
At that point in my career, I guess I like being thrown in the deep end kind of thing. One thing that really helped me settle down was a conversation that I had with Kevin Garnett. I was teammates with Kevin the year before in Boston. He can get into the NBA Hall of Fame on trash talking alone, let alone his playing ability. But some of the words that he used were homophobic. When Kevin and I were sitting across from each other, tapped me on the arm and he said, "Jason, I'm glad you're back in the NBA. I'm glad you're my teammate, and this is gonna be huge for our country, for our sport." It really did make me feel like I could breathe.
Checking into your nets for the very first time, please welcome number 98, Jason Collins.
That whole myth of it's gonna be a distraction, it's gonna if anything, it brought the team together. They felt like I was one of the brothers that they had to protect.
How'd you feel when you would come out of a game and you'd see your partner waiting for you in the family area?
That was the coolest thing. Brunson being there, having your significant other standing alongside everybody else's. That moment of not having to hide and just, this is who we are, and we're just like everybody else.
When he came into the family room, it was just a different Jason. And I knew he was not gonna be lonely anymore.
I remember when I first met you, you had just come out. You looked like a deer in headlights walking into this housewarming party.
Well, there was like 100 gay people.
Right. Right. And you knew like a total of 2 gay people in your life.
It was, yeah.
And then it's just kind of funny that 4 months later, we run into each other again. And you were like so much more comfortable in your size 17 shoes.
As a professional athlete, you tell yourself to play through pain, to keep pushing, keep forcing. I was 34, 35 at the time and playing, and I had a great career. I was 13 years in the NBA, but my body was telling me, we did it, now it's time for me to stop. I went to an executive in the league office and talked about what I thought I could bring to the table to the NBA. And there actually was a position that was created. And so ever since then, I've been an NBA Cares ambassador. I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. As far as waiting 33 years to come out, a lot of the folks here have already come out, whether in their private life or public, and just celebrating them. For me, it was different. I didn't come out till I was 33 years old. Look at me. Yes. From everyone at the NBA, WNBA, from our family to yours, we feel really connected to this center, and thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for having us here today.
When you came up to meet my mother, she absolutely adored you.
Oh, I think that, you learning to play bid whist.
Oh, yeah. We were
By the
great.
way, I'm 21 years in and I won't even do it. I'm like, sorry, no.
Yeah.
That was the real, that sealed the deal.
Yeah.
I'm happy that they're together, they get to share their lives. I can see how happy they are.
I also feel as though we are able to communicate a lot better too. I just want my children, I still do, to be accepted by everyone and loved.
Jason has transformed by being happier, more confident about his life, and that he can tell people and he has nothing to be ashamed of.
My brother and I, we do a basketball camp. I'll wear either really bright shoes, pride-themed shoes, or just something that can signal to a kid that I'm accepting, that there's someone else in the room, that if that child is looking for am I the only one here? And it's like, oh wait, I might not be the only one. Pro basketball is a family, and pretty much every family I know has a brother, sister, or cousin who's gay. In the brotherhood of the NBA, I just happen to be the one who's out. My brother moved the needle in society, and because I guarantee you my brother's not the only African-American gay athlete. My brother showed them that it's okay and that he made it easier for the next generation.
He's here to normalize not just sports, but society. You're not going to be judged by the color of your skin, nor should you be judged by the person you love. And that's what I think Jason's basic goal is.
Can you sign? Jason!
And I hope there are other people come from that place of acceptance and inclusion. This is who they are.